In this video, we will review the Ndex API Library, as well as how to generate an authorization token and review some ideas on how to leverage your ability to access data within Ndex by way of API. To access the API Library, under Other Functions, select Interface Management, API, and View Documentation. Upon clicking View Documentation, you will encounter a second login screen. Simply enter the same credentials you used to log into the application. I've already done so, so I'll click on View Documentation, and here is the API Library documentation within Ndex. There are 3 sections, one with instructions on how to generate an authorization token to connect to the API Library, a second section with endpoints that show data sets that are available for both full service or advisors, as well as for online clients. If you click on a drop-down for one of the endpoints, you will see further instructions on completing the connection to that data within Ndex. In addition to the online documentation, Ndex can also provide additional client documentation for support and generating tokens, as well as accessing the data by way of the API. To generate a token, Ndex would recommend using Postman, which is an API testing application, and by entering the base URL, which is explained in the online as well as the additional documentation, and the necessary parameters and headers, you will then have the ability to generate an authorization token for use in other applications to connect to the API. By clicking Send, Ndex will respond with the authorization token that you can store in Postman as well as store in other applications. As one example of a very complementary application, a Python Streamlit application can be connected to Ndex by way of the API for creating a user interface, or even by combining the data from Ndex with other data sources, create a data terminal. Python in particular has many resources for creating a data terminal that could now support combining data stored within Ndex with data from other sources, such as economic data, market data, and so forth, to create a custom data terminal. In this case, by importing the required Python libraries, as well as using the documentation from Ndex to set up the parameters, this application can be connected to Ndex and obtain data by any of the available endpoints. In this case, we'll bring in performance data. Once this is completed, you could launch your Python Streamlit application and again, have a customized terminal or customized interface that suits the needs of your firm. Here are some examples of interfaces or portals that could be created, again, by combining the ability with acquiring the data from Ndex, along with acquiring data from other API data providers. You could view real-time data of the positions held within your client portfolios, generate additional analytics, create visualizations, or trend and quantitative analysis screens. And some additional ideas would be an ETF screener for the ETFs you hold in your client portfolios, as well as other visualizations for reviewing households or portfolios. By leveraging the Ndex API Library, you can open up many opportunities and many possibilities for creating additional applications, as well as extending the capabilities of Ndex. In future videos, we'll go into additional details on these concepts and how to utilize resources that are available for helping in developing customized applications.